Aye, we give you the facts. It's not what you think. Popeye Newsling, Young King, 1 yard, bless.
Good morning, Popeye. Grandma watch Popeyes every morning and every night.
Greetings, viewers and subscribers. So today's video is brought to you courtesy of Infinity Dream Liquor Palace. They are located at shop number 1 at Imperial Plaza, 93 Great George Street in Savannah Lamar, and at the Rainbow Plaza in Hopewell in the parish of Anova. At Infinity Dream Liquor Palace, they don't deal with knockoffs. You will get liquors from Infinity Dream that you will not get anywhere else in Western Jamaica. Trust me when I tell you that. They have White Hennessy. They have all the Crown Royals that you can think of and a lot more. Just call them at 876-724-8228. That's 876-724-8228. They also do consignment. So if you are keeping a party and you want liquor and consignment, all you need is a bill, your ID, and a reference letter. And then you check with Infinity Dream. Ensure that you check with them for all your good stuffs. Now, as promised, today, our in-house lawyer is Mr. Lambert Johnson. If you have any question that you would want Mr. Johnson to answer, just send us a WhatsApp message. 876-343-1034. That's 876-343-1034. Or if you want to speak with Mr. Johnson directly, or if you want to set up an appointment to speak to him, keep watching. His numbers will be posted. Remember to like and share the video from now. So, let's ask the lawyer. Mr. Johnson, good afternoon, sir. How are you doing?
I'm very well, Master Papa. I am very well.
Yes, sir. We were off for 2 weeks, unavailable, but here we are again, and once again. All right. So today we have some interesting. Well, we have an interesting topic to deal with today, but something came up this week. I'm not gonna talk about it specifically, but generally, what if I own a farm, whether a small or a large farm, and there are some animals eating it down? How do I deal with it? Whether it be goats or cows eating it down, or donkeys, how do I deal with it?
You'd be surprised how often claims like these actually come before the court.
Yes.
So first and foremost, the farmer is entitled to sue in the parish court in the parish in which he or she resides.
Yes.
So that is out of the way. But the first thing now, or the most important thing, is that most of the times the issue that it comes down to is evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Because persons, and this is almost similar to dog bite case, dog bite cases.
Yes.
How do you know these are the goats of Farmer Brown, or the cows of Farmer Brown?
Yes.
And a lot of the times the damage to the property is done in the absence of the farmer, which makes it even more difficult.
Okay.
But having said that, if you are lucky enough to come upon the cow or the goat or the donkey that's eating down your property, I wouldn't suggest that you go first for your machete. I'd suggest first that you go for your cell phone. Take pictures of the animal in action, destroying your property, your farm. And then the next thing that all farmers do, and farmers seem to know this instinctively, they go for a valuator.
Yes.
To come and value the damage. So you'll see a valuation report that shows 50 banks of yellow yam at 1,500 a piece, 70 roots of banana, and how many roots of cassava, and it is listed out, and then it is tabulated, and our values arrived at, and that's it. So it is always recommended that when the evaluator is going to do his evaluation, call the person whose animals are supposed to have done the damage, so that they can be present, they can see what is damaged, and if the person is reasonable and know that the damage was caused by their animal, then it would be expected that they would settle then and there.
Yes.
But in the event they don't settle, then you will have your valuation that's done by the valuator. You take it to the court's office or to an attorney, and the papers will be prepared and served on the person. Mm-hmm. So as I said, one of the most critical thing is to ensure that the farmer you're calling, it's his cows or his goat or his donkey.
Yes.
Because that usually is the critical issue that the court has to decide if there is a dispute between the parties. Because usually you can prove the damage, mm-hmm. but it's who did it. So that's why at the start I said, if you have a camera,
yes,
on your phone, by all means, go ahead and take pictures and take videos so you can present it at the appropriate time in proof of your case.
Okay. Is there any power on the farmer's part where they can impound the animal?
Yes, because what you could do, because this would go towards evidence.
Yes.
So you impound the animal and you call the owner, mm-hmm. or the person you think who is the owner, mm-hmm. and you say, here's your cow.
Yes. Yes.
And the person will come and they say, I've tied your goats and I've tied your cow. You're mm-hmm. in my farm.
Yes.
So that will lessen the disputes having to go to court.
Yes.
Now, where it arises now is where it gets problematic, mm-hmm. is where the farmer gets so angry that he wants to kill the animal.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that. Yes.
I would recommend that you don't do that.
Yes.
Because it can lead to criminal charges being laid, mm-hmm. But there's a distinction to be made. Mm-hmm. And this is a historic distinction now.
Goat and cow? Another? Yeah. Go ahead.
Yes, because usually
yes.
it was assumed that it was the poor farmer who would have goats and pigs.
Yes, yes.
And so when you kill a goat or a pig, the consequence wouldn't be so harsh.
Oh, yes.
But it was assumed now that the cow, mm-hmm. and the horse, mm-hmm. was owned by the large planter, and there's a separate act of the act, and the consequences under the act as it relates to that injuring a cow or a horse is separate.
Yes. So
you have the large animals and the small animals, so the treatment is different. And so it's just like even larceny of a goat in the past.
Yes.
It tended to have been tried in the parish court, while larceny of a cow go to the Court of Appeal is only I wouldn't say in recent years, mm-hmm. but several years now, the parish court will try all of these larceny of cattle and stuff like that.
So the law does not give the farmer any right at all to kill the animal, whether it's goat or the cow.
You see, it's not a matter of giving right; it's the consequences that will flow.
Oh, the consequence. Okay.
So, right. So lesser consequences will flow. Mm-hmm. So I would advocate that you kill the animal, but if you're going to do it in a clean fashion, because you don't want to be charged with cruelty to animals. So if you chop the goat and the goat is there limping for days, that can be presumed as cruelty.
Oh.
Well, if you took off the head clean, mm-hmm. Well, what the owner then have to do is maybe sue for the value of the goat.
Okay.
And you would hope it's not an expensive Nubian or Boer or Ram.
Yes. Value more than the farm than the whole farm.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
But in those circumstances, mm-hmm. it is expected that the farmers would remain calm. Mm-hmm. Usually their neighbors come from the same district. Mm-hmm. Have a beer, sit down, and settle it.
Yes. Yes.
That is my advice to them.
So the advice to the owners for the animal, tie up your animals. The advice to the farmers, if it do happen, try to work out something amicably. Yes. All right, sir. All right, got it. All right, let's move on to the topic for today, Sir Johnson.
All right, so I will be dealing with the rights of spouses.
Yes.
When it is they are going to be separated and what is to be done to the matrimonial home or any cars or business that the parties might own.
Yes.
So there's an act called the Property Rights of Spouses Act. We, as attorneys, we refer to it as PROSA. It came into effect in 2006.
Okay.
And it introduced what we call the equal share law as it relates to the matrimonial home.
Okay.
And so spouses are the one who can take the matter to court. And I have done so before, but I have to define spouse once again. So once you're married, you're a spouse. But the law recognizes that there are many common law relationships. So if a single man and a single woman live together in the property for 5 years and more, then the rule is triggered.
Okay.
So if you're just with the gentleman or the lady for just 4 years, don't qualify.
Yes.
So the law is trying to establish that there's some stability to the relationship, some long-term emotional entanglement.
Yes.
Before you actually, and it must be a single man and a single woman. So if it is the gentleman or the lady is married, well, you have to go elsewhere and try and get your justice.
Yes.
Now, how this came about, so that's a little background. There was a time in our society when it would be the gentleman or the husband who works, and the lady would be at home, taking care of the children, taking care of the home.
Yes.
And a lot of times, as would happen, the gentleman would buy the property in his name. And when the parties were getting divorced, a lot of gentlemen were so unkind that they would tell the lady, your name is not on the title, you have to go, get out of my house. And so the courts, seeing that, I would want to say invent, but brought into place some legal principles called trust.
Yes.
Saying that it is unfair because you were able, so essentially the principle is saying that because this lady, and that's usually the circumstance, was so faithful to you, every day she would take care of your clothing, your food, and it allowed you to go out and work. And not because she didn't earn money that can show. She enabled you to work for the family.
Yes.
She gave you that peace of mind. She kept the home front happy and safe. And so that was recognized by the courts as a basis to give the wife, as it was most times, a share in the matrimonial home.
Yes.
But the courts recognize that, Parliament recognized that it is best to have this enacted in law. So the reality is, once you are getting married, and the property is regarded as the matrimonial home, there's a presumption, an automatic presumption, that the lady or the spouses are each entitled to a 50% share of the property.
Okay.
This is a long one. So there are many other elements that touch on concern. So even though the matrimonial house is almost automatically 50-50, if it is other properties are owned by either party, then in those circumstances, for the spouse to make a claim, they have to show that they have an interest or made a contribution rather to the other property. So not because the wife would have been able to work and maybe she got an NHT mortgage and she paid for a house around the corner and you know about it and everyone can see that the money came from her salary deduction.
Yes.
It doesn't automatically mean that the husband has an entitlement to that because they'd have been living in the family home and the wife would have been doing her duties, making her contribution, and the contribution doesn't have to be equal, you know.
Yes.
it could be that the wife or the husband is paying some of the bills.
Hold your thought, Mr. Johnson, hold your thought a little bit, because I don't want to forget this. Somebody had asked me last week to ask you, because since you're touching on this, somebody is married, right? And they are separated. The husband wants to buy a vehicle now, but he's afraid that the wife is going to come and claim something on it. But they are separated, not living together.
No, in those circumstances, once you're separated,
yes,
and it's not a joint account,
yes,
and you can clearly show
yes,
that this come from your earnings.
Yes.
So typically, you go to the bank and you get a loan,
mm-hmm.
and the money is then the wife has absolutely no claim in that, or the husband.
Yes, okay, all right. Yeah, man, thanks. Yeah, yes, go ahead.
Right. So, with that said, there are several bases, though, on which the 50-50 rule can be altered.
Yes.
Or not enforced. So, even though you're married,
mm-hmm.
let's say your father or your parents, some family member, was to give you a house as a gift.
Mm-hmm.
And they say this house is for you alone because they don't like your partner. Mm-hmm. And will never get an interest. No matter how long you live in that house, the presumption is that you will have no interest in it.
Okay.
Because it wasn't acquired by the effort or from the resources of both partners.
Yes.
It was a gift to one.
Okay.
Also, the 50-50 rule can be altered if the marriage was of a relatively short duration.
Mm-hmm.
So you're married for only 6 months.
Yes.
And you're living in the house of the wife or the husband. Because it's so short, the 50-50 rule would be varied.
Yes.
Now, interestingly, the PROSA, Property Rights of Spouses Act, recognizes that in the society we currently live,
yes,
persons might enter into relationships with substantial assets.
Mm-hmm.
And when you enter into a relationship with substantial assets, some persons don't wish for those assets to become part of what they call a matrimonial base.
Yes.
So you can enter into a prenuptial agreement.
Yes, I was going to ask if that's valid in Jamaica. Yes.
Yes. So previously, prenuptial agreements were of no effect
mm-hmm.
in Jamaica.
Yes.
But with the Property Rights of Spouses Act,
okay,
you can now set out your prenuptial agreement.
And you said that act is 2006?
Repeat that?
No, you said the act, the act, the Property Rights of it's 2006.
2006, yes.
Okay, yes.
Right. So there are some conditionalities that are attached.
Mm-hmm.
So both parties must get independent legal authority,
mm-hmm.
independent legal advice.
Yes.
Explaining the consequences that they know what this means.
Okay.
You know?
Yes.
And it will be enforced.
Yes.
Of course, there are some other exotic methodology by which you can protect your assets if you think you are rich and you don't necessarily want your partner to have access to it without you, if you don't mind it. So you could also set up a trust and put all your assets in it.
Oh.
So you own nothing, but that's another discussion, and that's an exotic way to protect your interest.
Yes. That sounds like we have to go do that. That sounds like an interesting topic.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And I've said this before.
Yes.
So even though the Property Rights of Spouses Act is in existence,
yes,
do not go and build on the family land of the other party. It just makes life so difficult if and when you separate. Especially if there's no title,
mm-hmm.
because or especially if the land is in the parents or some other family member on the other side.
Yes.
They're going to say, but I never gave you any land.
Yes.
And so if the court was to order the property to be sold, I would never advise my client or clients to buy land in those circumstances.
In that breath, Mr. Johnson, in that breath, what does matrimonial home means under the Act?
So matrimonial home
Yes.
is the home that is primarily used by the family as
Yes.
the place of residence.
Okay.
So you don't have to live there 365 days for the year, but it must be the primary
Okay.
place of residence
Okay.
for the family. And
Oh.
that is what qualifies as matrimonial home.
Okay. Okay.
It just is a legal quagmire from which it is difficult to extricate yourself.
Yes.
Because as I've seen happened on many occasions, you meet someone and they are living on their family land, and they say, "Why waste money and go buy land? We can build here."
Yes.
Because all is good and well, you invest substantial funds
Yes.
and you build, and then when the relationship falls apart, how do you extract it?
Yes.
Because usually the court don't tell you to pay per month. The way the court tries to give you back your investment is to order that the property be sold.
Yes.
But when it is on family land, it's a virtual impossibility. And so, and even if, and I've seen this happen, even if that never happens, but let's say the partner with whom you are with,
yes,
they die. You can't do anything with the land because they're going to say it's family land. And for instance, they will say that you are not brown.
Yes.
So, and you're not on the title. So you can't do anything with our land. You have to go. And worst case scenario, what happens is that your partner dies, and after several years, you maybe have another partner.
Yes.
They are going to be dead set against some other man or woman coming onto their property. And so it is just a no-no. Don't do it.
Yes.
Never ever do it.
Yes.
Unless it is you're prepared to give it as a gift and walk away.
Yes. Yeah. You covered a whole heap. Finally, Sir Johnson, I don't know. I was reading the Sunday Gleaner, and something struck me. I don't know if I read it, but not gonna speak about the case specifically, but remind us about something. You see, adverse possession. I know we covered it at length, but the person who is making the application for the title, that person has to occupy the land for 12 years?
Well, the rule says you must be in open. That means you can hide and occupy it.
Yes.
Open.
Okay.
Undisturbed.
Okay.
And that is all undisturbed occupation.
Yes.
For 12 years.
Okay.
Undisturbed means nobody don't come and say to you, man, you're on my land. Because that is a disturbance in law.
Okay.
For this purpose.
You saw the article in the Gleaner?
I have not seen it as yet.
Okay.
But what you were telling more?
What is an ex-policeman in Senton. He is saying that he and his mother, they own a piece of property, and beachfront property, and
yes,
somebody contacted him from abroad, wanted to enter into a partnership with him to build a guest house, and he had that land as his old age pension, according to him. Now, when he went because he owed some money for property taxes, so when he went to the tax office to clear up his property taxes, when they start checking, they are saying that they don't see where he owned any land. So when him check, he found out that the title was transferred last year by way of adverse possession. He's saying that the land is empty. He checked it up to last year. Nobody lived on the land. The land is empty. So he's saying that it was transferred. So he's no longer the owner of it. He's planning on going to fraud squad and whatever. But, I saw it and it just, I was just...
Well, that's a very good place to start.
Yes.
Because especially if the land is still empty.
Yes.
First thing I'd go there and show persons and take pictures to show on this day the land was empty.
Yes.
So how you can't occupy my land?
That's what I'm saying. But when I saw it, I just remember everything, and I remember you saying that it has to be occupied and the person has to be undisturbed for over 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it can't be that you just every now and again you walk past and look at it and say, this is a nice land.
Yes.
Nice piece of land.
Yes.
And nobody's living here.
Yes.
You know? Let me watch it for 12 years. No.
Yeah.
No.
You have to occupy
You
it.
have to occupy.
Yes.
You have to occupy it. And when I say occupy it, you don't have to necessarily live there, you know.
Yes.
But you must take steps.
Mm-hmm.
You put a building, you put something there, some activity
Yes.
that shows that you're exercising dominance, control.
Because the man is saying even the fence that is there now is the fence that he put up on it. You know, it's not like nobody come and fence it up otherwise.
Well, he needs to make a beeline for a good attorney to have his matter rectified.
Yeah, because what I see him doing is he's doing all of the checks. I don't see where he mention anything about any lawyer. I hope he try and get a good lawyer to start.
Yes.
To start. Yeah. Well, Sir Johnson, we learned a lot today, and we're definitely coming back next week. We're definitely coming back next week, sir. Yeah, man.
Definitely. And I'm sure your viewers a very good rest.
Yes, sir.
Of the day.
Yes.
Until we meet again.
All right, Sir Johnson. Blessings. Yeah, man. Cool.